Hey there, fight fans. In today's video, UFC fighter Ilia Topuria beat a man in a bar. Colby Covington refused to fight Chimaev. Former UFC fighter has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Habib Nurmagomedov named his personal goal for the next 10 years. And Conor McGregor has become bigger than ever. Now, the information that the U.S. anti-doping agency, USADA, has not yet tested him for doping for more than a year has been confirmed. And since the UFC fighter leaves the USADA testing pool only if they become a free agent or officially notifies the organization of their resignation. But before we kick off the video, I just want to ask you guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Kicking off the video, Ilia Topuria became a participant in a bar fight in one of the Spanish bars. A video shows that one of the patrons approached Topuria and pushed him twice, after which Topuria answered him with several shots. Now, following this, the instigator, he fell to the floor. And many are starting to begin to compare him with the actions of Conor McGregor. However, remember, when Conor hit a man in a bar a few years ago, it was a little bit different as that was an old man. And here you can see that Ilya's attacker, he's young and he's the one that actually started the fight. Now, I don't justify the acts of Topuria because he is a professional fighter and he should not be street fighting. He could potentially land a fatal blow on an unprepared person. He hits a lot harder than I guarantee that guy did. So therefore, it is better not to fight, but hey, anything can happen.
Hey, Mike, come on. Let's go stop back.
Now, as you remember, the Spanish Georgian fighter also made a lot of noise in 2022. El Matador had a fight with Paddy Pimblett backstage and declared that he will become a champion in 2 weight categories. Topuria does not forget to back up his words though, as in March of 2022, the Spaniard knocked out Jay Herbert in London, and at UFC 282 he strangled Bryce Mitchell with an arm triangle. These successful fights allowed Topuria to break into the top 10 featherweight rankings. And now a fight between Topuria and Movsar Evloev promises to be fiery, although any next fight of the Spaniard in the UFC, it's going to attract a lot of attention from the MMA community. Former UFC welterweight title challenger Colby Covington will not be fighting the undefeated welterweight Khamzat Chimaev. Colby has no plans to fight against Chimaev at the moment, TASS quoted Covington's representative saying. Now, if you recall the fight between Chimaev and Covington, it was supposed to take place on March 18th. And that fight was expected by millions of fans. But as we can see now, we are not destined to see this fight. Why? Well, that's an entirely different question, and many people think that it's because Colby is afraid of fighting Chimaev, because he knows that he will be fighting a young and ambitious opponent with amazing skills and punching power. He's not going to be fighting someone like Tyron Woodley, Jorge Masvidal, or even Robbie Lawler. Now, despite the fact that Covington boasts an impressive level of endurance, outstanding technique, and great skills overall, it is still going to be a very hard fight for him to beat Khamzat. Chimaev versus Covington is sure to be a memorable matchup and could even be a highlight fight. So we are crossing our fingers that someday we will get to see it. Former UFC fighter Phil Baroni has been arrested on suspicion of killing his girlfriend. Tribuna de la Bahia informs that it was reported that the girl was found dead in a hotel room. Baroni himself then appeared at the police station. The police report states that Phil was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. It is assumed that Baroni beat his girlfriend after he found out about her infidelity. Phil Baroni's friend, former UFC fighter Josh Barnett, claims that it all happened due to taking too many blows to the head. Here is what Josh Barnett had to say. The news about Phil Baroni is terrible and incredibly tragic. I've known Phil for over 2 decades, and recently at the first JB Bloodsport show, I saw that his personality and behavior were erratic, shifted, and he was emotionally on a roller coaster ride, and it was obvious that he was suffering from CTE. Now, CTE is a chronic traumatic neurodegenerative disease that causes severe and irreparable brain damage as a result of repeated head trauma. In addition to the UFC, the 46-year-old Baroni also fought for promotions like Pride, Strikeforce, Bellator, ONE FC, and several others. During his career, Phil had 35 fights, in which he had 16 victories, 11 of which were by knockout, 2 by submission, and he suffered 19 defeats. He ended his career back in 2019. But wait, 19 defeats. Okay, 35 fights. Either way you look at it, that is a lot of fights. That means that he has been hit in the head and probably knocked out many times. He has received a lot of blows to the head. And as it turned out, it obviously impacted his mental health. Now, I'm not a doctor by saying this, but it's obviously a very dangerous sport. Now, moving on, having completed his professional career 2 years ago, former UFC lightweight champ Habib Nurmagomedov does not plan to weigh more than 93 kilograms in the next 10 years. It is very important to control yourself, Nurmagomedov said. When I step on the scale and see that I have gained more than a kilogram, I tell myself it's time to lose weight. I am in control. I am at 93 kilos and I want to be at that weight for the next 10 years. This is my goal, not to be heavier than 93 kilograms in the next 10 years. Keeping less is very difficult. 88 to 89 kilos are constant diets, no sugar, fast carbs, and I need this because I meet a lot of people, I train a lot, and I need to replenish energy quickly. When there are a lot of people around, they take energy from you, so a little sugar and soda won't hurt. Keeping a strict diet with such a lifestyle is a lot of stress. And of course, Conor McGregor has become as big as ever. Current UFC bantamweight champ Aljamain Sterling spoke about this, saying that he has no doubt that Conor McGregor left the USADA testing pool and is taking advantage of this position and actively using illegal substances. I'm looking at his photos now, and I can say that the guy has looked jacked like never before.
And I feel like he's been posting a lot of odd pictures lately, like the one where he was really close to the, I think he might have deleted it. Yeah. Because I'm like, what is going on with this guy? Only Conor McGregor could post a picture like these awkward selfie looking things and get away with it, because anyone else who did anything like that would get looked at as like a creep or weird. But Conor could do whatever the hell Conor wants, right? He's Conor McGregor. He's jacked, bro. He's looking like a bodybuilder now.
Now, the information that USADA has not tested Conor for more than a year was confirmed a couple of months ago, becoming a discovery for many since the UFC fighter leaves USADA testing pool only if they become a free agent or if they notify the organization of their resignation. McGregor himself said that he does plan to resume checks in February and return to the octagon under an accelerated procedure, bypassing the 6-month period of continuous doping control.
The two weight division champion, the person that came in not just to take part, but to take over, has been out of the limelight for quite some time now. The sport has moved on without him, but he's coming back because Conor wants to be the champion, and that's something else that you have to respect. All the money in the world is great, but he wants to be the champ, and you cannot buy that. There's a few things you can't buy. Money can't buy me love, as the Beatles say. Money can't also buy a UFC strap.
So that is all for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because it is very important to us, and thank you all in advance.